Investors who want consistent interest payments, which can be helpful during retirement, will find that stocks that pay their shareholders dividends every month are good investments. During declining markets, when the prices of investors' equities are failing, some investors may decide to diversify their portfolios by purchasing stocks that pay monthly dividends. No matter what your circumstances are, the consistent interest that stocks that pay monthly dividends provide can make it simpler to arrange your finances, which is especially helpful if you depend on the income from your portfolio. They can also assist in easing your concerns about an unstable market by providing you with regular dividend payments each and every month. This should put your mind at ease. Here are 7 monthly dividend stocks to buy. Number 7. Global Water Resources Incorporated. It is an American company that manages water resources and runs utilities for water, wastewater, and recycled water. At the end of the first quarter of 2022, it had cash and cash equivalents worth more than $11.1 million and total assets worth more than $297.4 million. During the quarter, the company gave out $1.67 million in dividends, which is slightly more than the $1.65 million it gave out in the previous quarter. It has a 7-year track record of steady dividend growth, and at the moment, each share pays out a monthly dividend of 0.0246 cents. As of August 2nd, the dividend yield for the stock was 2.22%. Number 6. Main Street Capital Corporation. Lower middle market companies are those that have annual revenue of between $10 million and $150 million. Main Street Capital Corporation is a private equity firm that invests in these type of companies. Since the middle of the 1990s, this company has been in operation. During that period, it has been instrumental in the expansion of over 200 privately held businesses. It focuses on businesses that have significant competitive advantages, cash flow that is both consistent and positive, and management teams that are both experienced and have proven track records. At the end of the first quarter, the amount of cash and cash equivalents held by the corporation was close to $18 million, while the total assets were at over $3.78 billion. The dividends that Main Street Capital Corporation distributed for the quarter totaled $15.5 million. This figure takes into account the company's supplemental dividend of 0.075 cents per share. Main Street Capital Corporation said on August 2nd that it would increase its monthly dividend by 2.3%, bringing it to 22 cents per share. Additionally, the company stated that it will be paying a special dividend of 10 cents per share to its shareholders. This will be the 3rd year in a row that the company will provide supplemental dividends to its shareholders. The dividend yield on the stock was calculated to be 5.80% as of August 2nd. The number of hedge funds that owned shares in Main Street Capital Corporation at the end of the first quarter of 2022 was the same as the number that owned shares at the end of the previous quarter. These holdings have a total market value that exceeds $48.4 million. In the first quarter, the company's key stakeholders included people like Israel Englander and Ken Griffin. Number 5. Realty Income Corporation. Commercial real estate is the focus of investments made by Realty Income Corporation, which is a real estate investment trust. The company, which operates as a real estate investment trust, is so assured of its capacity to pay monthly dividends that it refers to itself as the Monthly Dividend Company. In addition to that, it is included in the Standard & Poor's 500 Index. A dividend aristocrat is a corporation that has a history of paying dividends on a continuous basis and increasing those payouts over time. Since the company was first listed on the NYSE in 1994, it has multiplied its dividend payment by 116 times. Number 4. SL Green. It is a real estate investment trust that makes investments in New York City office buildings and commercial areas. It possesses real estate in the Midtown area as well as downtown and Midtown South. As of the end of the third quarter in 2022, the corporation has ownership interests in 71 buildings with a combined 34.7 million square feet of space. SL Green was established in 1997 and has its headquarters in New York City. Nearly $190 million in cash and cash equivalents was reported as being held by SL Green Realty Corporation as of the end of the first quarter of 2022. The company's total assets amounted to more than $10.7 billion. The company's cash net operating income from the same stores was $150.5 million, which is an increase over the prior quarter's figure of $138 million. During the period under review, it distributed dividends to stockholders totaling $24.4 million. It has a solid track record of dividend payments and has successfully increased its payout every year for the previous 11 years in a row. As of the 2nd of August, it has a dividend yield of 7.44% and currently distributes a monthly dividend of 0.3108 cents per share. The demand for office premises is in jeopardy as a result of rules that encourage working from home and hybrid work arrangements. In light of this information, Deutsche Bank reduced its price target for SL Green Realty Corporation in July to $57 while maintaining its high return on assets. At the end of the first quarter of 2022, there were a total of 18 hedge funds that owned holdings in SL Green Realty Corporation, which is one less than the previous quarter's total of 19 hedge funds. These holdings are estimated to be worth more than $130.8 million in total. Number 3. U.S. Global Investors Incorporated. It is an investment management firm that has its headquarters in Texas that handles equity and bond strategies, natural resource investments, and emerging market investments. It reported having $26.8 million in cash and cash equivalents at the end of the first quarter of 2022. This represents an increase of 85.4% compared to the same time in the previous year. In addition to this, it recorded a year-over-year increase in its net working capital of 47.2%, which came in at $31.8 million. Since 2007, U.S. Global Investors Incorporated has maintained its dividend payment schedule at the same time each month. As of the 2nd of August, it is currently offering a monthly dividend of 0.0075 cents per share, which results in a yield of 2.13%. At the end of the first quarter of 2022, the number of hedge funds that owned stakes in U.S. Global Investors Incorporated decreased from 7 to 6. These holdings have a total market value close to $4 million. The largest investment in the company was held by Royce & Associates, which was valued at $3.1 million. Number 2. Pembina Pipeline Corporation. Pembina Pipeline Corporation is a Canadian pipeline transport firm that specializes in the construction of infrastructure for both transportation and storage of goods. The company's operating cash flow increased from $655 million during the first quarter of 2022, up from $456 million during the same time the previous year. Additionally, the company's free cash flow increased to $476 million in the first quarter, up from $438 million in the same time of the preceding year. It distributed dividends of $347 million during the quarter, which indicates that the company is successfully producing sufficient revenue to meet its dividend payments. As of the 2nd of August, the monthly dividend that Pembina Pipeline Corporation pays to its shareholders is 21 cents per share, and the dividend yield is at 5.15%. Canaccord increased its price objective on shares of Pembina Pipeline Corporation to 56 Canadian dollars in June, while maintaining its buy rating on the company's stock. The Pembina Pipeline Corporation was a common purchase made by top funds during the first quarter of 2022. At the end of March, there were 19 hedge funds that owned positions in the company, which is an increase from the previous quarter's total of 10 hedge funds. These holdings are estimated to be worth close to $135 million when taken as a whole. Number 1. Fortitude Gold Corporation. It is a gold producer with its headquarters in Colorado that places a primary emphasis on projects that have both lower operating costs and higher profits. In 2021, Fortitude Gold Corporation established a dividend policy, and the company presently distributes a dividend payment of 4 cents per share on a monthly basis. The dividend was increased by 14% in October 2021, marking the first time since the corporation began paying dividends that it had been increased. In addition, the business distributed dividends of $11.5 million in the prior year, which represented 46% of its net income. Analysts believe that with its current balance sheet, Fortitude Gold Corporation is in a strong position to continue paying dividends without any disruptions during the course of the subsequent 5 years. The dividend yield on the stock was calculated to be 7.91% as of August 2nd. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from me again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go. Thanks for watching.